Hey, I normally wouldn't make a video on a small 12-inch black and white TV unless there was some cool factor to it. I did one a while ago that was like new in the box, and that was a fun experience. But I mean, otherwise, these were very common. There's nothing special about them. But there's something special about this one. These knobs caught my eye. They're not knobs, they're dials. Both the VHF and UHF tuners on this are what's called continuous tuners. Instead of the ratcheting style channel selectors that will move to a predefined channel, you have these continuous dials, similar to a radio. Older sets had a continuous tuner on UHF because it was just cheaper to do, but I'm pretty sure those were not allowed after a certain date. I think they had to be a channel selector, but VHF was always a channel selector. Unless you're talking small portable televisions, they were always, a ratcheting tuner at the least. This is completely continuous. And what's cool, take a look at the gap between 6 and 7. So the way VHF bands work is you have VHF low, FM radio, then you have another section for other broadcast stuff that was also used for cable TV channels. I think it's like 14 to 22 in here, and then 7 to 13. So this big gap here, does that actually tune in those frequencies? Let's see. Flip it to VHF. Now it's just the rod antenna, so I can kind of bring that up, and let's see. I'm hearing some talking and I'm seeing little squiggles which tell me this is FM radio. Let me hook up my attic antenna. Okay, so now we should get some FM radio stations.
And I politics in Louisiana. And then you'll also see that change in how Louisiana looks like. This is how to be a station manager here at CJ.
Interesting, that pop right there tells me that it's changing, right? Like maybe this isn't completely continuous between these two. Yeah, and then we immediately jump to, this is a digital channel here on channel 7. And there should be one on 13. What? This goes way higher up there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab an RF modulator. I have this modulating on channel 6. Brightness is turned down so this doesn't overload the camera. And the next channel on here, well, past all the FM band, should be 14. So let's see if I can find that. I'm going to go up to 14. Nothing. And there's this one section here that seems to skip a bunch, which is weird because this is a continuous tuner. You'd think this would just be like a variable capacitor. Okay, let me start moving up in channels until we get it. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, by the time I'm at 22, I should be seeing something here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we've got 22 just before 7. I think this indicator might be a little off. Let's go down to channel 21. So I should tune up and get channel 21. Yeah. Now if I go to channel 20, no. I'm at the edge.
For farmland, homes, communities, but as you turn north, dry farmland is between the Brunk Hill Dike.
This is almost acting like it's electronic. It's interesting. Okay, well, let's 7 to 13 should work just fine. So if I select channel 7, I should see it here. Yep, there it is. So if I go all the way up to 13, I should be able to tune up, and there it is, channel 13. So the next one after channel 13 should be 23. So I'm going to move up to 23, and I can see something. There it is, there's 23. Tuner's acting a little wonky with the modulator. Definitely not the happiest TV. There it is. So we're all the way up here at 23. Do we have a 24? We do. But what's interesting is what? That's 23. That's 24. The TV is just locking in to another station. What in the heck is going on here? This is a very weird tuner. Quick look at the back before I do that. We have our built-in rod antenna, wire coming from the rod antenna, and text telling you where to connect the rod. I'm assuming that this side is connected internally to a ground of sorts, a matching ground plane for that. Vertical hold, horizontal hold, little clip to hold your antenna wires, I guess. Not much else. Here's the back. For those who are curious, it's a model M1211 made in October 1981 by Hitachi. This looks a lot simpler and more modern than I would expect for 1981. Got the mains power coming in here, going to this fuse, then it goes to a transformer. So this isn't a hot chassis set, which is nice. Transformer goes onto this board here. We have the flyback right in that power supply section. Capacitor, this is the on-off volume. Horizontal, vertical sitting on the board, as well as two other adjustments that are labeled here. Vertical size and VN. Video noise like AGC, or it could be like a vertical linearity with N. I don't know. Yeah, tuner is manufactured September 9th. Oh, tuner? What? It's a single. So we got antennas coming off here. Yeah, and then we've got them going in VHF and UHF going into the sides of the tuner. Look at that. The VHF tuner just has two potentiometers. And the UHF tuner just has a single potentiometer. This is an electronic tuner. This, let's get some visibility on this. This is an 80M2 electronic tuner. So this is acting kind of like a modern tuner, or those varactor diode tuners that I've talked about. The potentiometer is varying a voltage, and then the electronic tuner is using varactor diodes to convert that voltage into the capacitance needed to tune a channel. And I think what's happening with the VHF is you have two tuners, and it's switching between or two potentiometers, and when the voltage threshold changes, it switches between them. So in that sort of blank area there, it switches from one potentiometer to another, which means the voltage changes, thus changing your tuning capacitance. It may even switch to a different set of varactor diodes inside here. Huh. That's interesting. I've seen that with push-button tuners. I've seen that with RCA and Zenith. A lot of other American brands had that single dial tuner that looked like it was a old ratcheting style tuner. Instead of having a bunch of networks that it would switch between, it was just a single voltage. Very, very simple. And yeah, this is a cost savings. Look at how simple that is. Look at how simple this whole set is. The tuner in this is built down to a very low cost. And taking a look at the labeling on this board just seems to further solidify that this is an electronic tuner with variable capacitance diodes used to tune it, because you have AGC voltage, VT voltage, BH, I'm not really sure what those are, ground, intermediate frequency, BL, TP, BM. I'm assuming these B numbers are to do with band. So you have like band high, band low, band medium, band UHF. That's pretty typical. TP, not really sure. AGCU. Oh, AGC VHF, AGC UHF. VTU, not sure what VTUHF is. VTVHF. Yeah, so I mean, this is 100% an electronic tuner, even if I'm not entirely too sure what these are all doing. I did open it up slightly, just because I know if you're anything like me, you want to see inside. And this is pretty typical of these type of tuners. On this side, you just see, oh boy, let's get some light in here, a circuit board. So that's boring. And on this side, you'll see all the sections with the little coils. And inside, you'll see some variable capacitance diodes. I don't know if they're all visible at all. This is super janky trying to look in there. And they're all sectioned off with these little metal shields. Googling the term ET tuner does come up with these Hitachi variable capacitance diode style tuners. So that does tell me that this is that type of tuner, along with, you know, the potentiometer. Very cool. Like, this is, to be honest, it doesn't work great. I was not impressed with how that tuner worked, so I can see why these were not very common. It's an interesting cost cutting that Hitachi did. I'm curious to see how much this actually cost in 1981 compared to other similar 12-inch black and white sets. So just taking a look at some old advertisements, this seems to have gone for around $85 to $88 at the end of 1981, which is inexpensive, but not, you know, rock bottom. Here's an ad from September 1981 showing a Mitsuba 4Quality TV for $68, or this Sylvania for $88. It's around the same price as this Hitachi. It was cheap, but it wasn't cheaper than the others. Anyway, this was a pretty short video, but it's turns out to be a pretty bog standard TV. I thought the tuner was interesting and I wanted to share that, but otherwise, you know, it's a standard 12-inch black and white TV. These were in like every kid's bedroom in the 80s and 90s. And one other thing to note, the tuner on UHF is so dang sensitive to try and tune in stations. It's like, you gotta do it just, whoop, almost, there we go. Nice clear picture though. Just sound is a little bit off. I'm wondering if there's a setting or adjustment for that. Like, I'll show you.
Hey, why'd you eat them? I thought you were a vegetarian. I didn't. I just wanted to leave.
Hear that hum? So the audio and the video aren't quite lined up. Oh well though. Anyway, thanks for watching.